Welcome to BA 131 CS 120 Business Computing Intro to Computers, assignment number 4, Road Trips. In this video, assignment number 4, Road Trips, we're going to learn about adding non-concurrent cells, generating a total in cells using formulas, keeping a running total, using the internet to gather information on Google Maps, such as fuel and lodging, and creating a chart. To demonstrate what we're going to be learning today, I have an example of an Excel spreadsheet in front of you. Here in D12, we have added up this cell, and that cell to come up with 125.44. This is accomplished by this formula here, where we have D6 plus D8 plus D10. So we have D6 here, D8 there, and D10 there. And we do that by adding the plus sign in there. Once we accomplished that particular formula, we can then drag that formula across, and we still get those cells added up. To demonstrate how to generate a total in a cell using a formula, I want to point you to this cell here, D6. Under D6, if you notice at the top, up here in the menu bar, we've got 52 divided by 45 times 3.84. What this represents is it's 52 miles divided by 45 miles to the gallon times 3.84 dollars to the gallon. Once that formula is created there, we can then drag that formula across and then just edit it based on the mileage. So as you saw, those numbers changed. So from Boise to Twin Falls is actually 128 miles, and so we would go up here and we would say 128 miles, and then from Twin Falls to Las Vegas is 453 miles, so we would change this to 453. So in doing that, we have generated a total inside of the cells by creating a formula inside that cell. The next example is using or keeping a running total. So right here we have a running total based on this number here, B14 minus D12. As you can see up here, B14 minus D12. When we go to the next area or the next day, we have to subtract from the total left over from Friday. So in this sense, now we've got this generates from D14 minus E12, because this is all that's left over for from Friday's meals or spending. And then we go to the next one. We go that the total together there is going to be from E14 minus F12. And that would be that. That way we are having a running total. After the first day we had $374 left. After the second day we had $257 left. And after the last day we had $108 left over out of the 500. Another part of the assignment is generating totals in the proper areas. So earlier we talked about generating a total based on cells that are not conjoined, which is how we got this one. Earlier in the quarter, we discussed generating a total or a sum based on conjoined cells. So these cells here are close by each other, and so all we had to do is do a sum and hit enter, and it gave us our total there for the spending of fuel. We can do that for each one of these. To gain that total, to gain a total of each specific area and what was spent. Two other totals that exist on this sheet are the 500 that exists here, and the 500 that exists here is an addition of how much is spent total each day by how much is left over. So if you look at the formula that we generated inside there, we generated a formula that said this is going to equal the 391, or G12 plus F14. So G12 plus F14. And it should generate a 500 regardless of what that is. That way when we get to that point where we know that all of our math was right. The next one that we have is a 500 over here. This 500 over here is generated by adding up these cells here. And as I showed you before, we added those up by adding up the non-conjoined cells. The final one is B14, and B14 equals what B12 is. Last on my list for working with the spreadsheet here is creating a table. So to create this table, like I have a fuel table here, to create that table, I chose a specific area. So I created one for the fuel. I'm going to create another one here for food. So I'm just going to highlight the area that I want. I don't want to put the totals in there. It'll cause a problem. Then I'm going to go up here to Insert, and I'm going to choose just a pie graph. It's going to automatically throw up some options for me. I'm going to choose just that option right there. And then I can shrink this down. Hold on here. Did something here. Give me a second. Okay, I'm not sure I did something there, but I'm going to delete that, and we're going to do it again. So I'm going to go insert that table. There we go. And I'm going to move it down. I'm going to shrink it down there a little bit, put it over here, and I want to add that to it. The next thing I want to do is then change the title. So I'm going to add the title to it as food. And then what I have is my options. This last one I can't really read that well. We've got the IHOP, IHOP Twin Falls, Bertha Miranda's, and then the green one. I'm not seeing it on here. It's because it keeps grabbing the wrong area. We're not getting Red Robin. Go on a second. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Delete that one. And we're going to choose an area here. And then I'm going to say Insert our graph. And we have the Red Robin on there, right? Put it into place. And then I want to add that to it. There we go. Now it's all in there. Then I'm just going to change this to say food. That time worked. Okay, so creating charts, those are super easy. Now, last but not least is where do we get the information? So the mileage from Ontario to Boise, we went to Google Maps and got that. We went to the internet to look up prices on food, and we found a meal that was somewhere around $10 to $15, and then we multiplied that times 3, and that's how we got $32 for Red Robin for our entire day. And we just put the one restaurant up there for that. And then these are hotels that we found. So let's go look at those really quick. So let me bring that open. Okay, so we got Google opened up here. And we're going to go fuel prices. And when that opens up, I'm going to go gasoline and fuel up here. We need that for our formula. Okay, now that that opened, I'm going to look up on here and find the West Coast. And the current prices are $3.61. So now, when we open up our Excel and we look at the formula, This should actually say 361. Oh, but actually I had that at 384 because I had diesel. So I looked down here at the bottom and I said 384 is the general price for diesel. So I had that in there for diesel. But this is where you get the price for your fuel. It's on a website like this. And then you'd put it into there and have that be across your formula there. Alright, so now food. Where did we get the food? Well, I'm not going to search on food yet. What I'm going to do is go look at Google Maps really quick. So we're going to minimize that, and we're going to literally go up here to Google Chrome for this site, and I'm going to go to Maps, and I'm looking for a distance. So I'm going to type in here Boise, Idaho. And then I'm going to say get directions to Ontario, Oregon. It's going to tell me that it's 55.5 miles. And so I'm going to take that information and I'm going to put that into my formula. So if I go back up here, now I say, here I'm going to say this is 55.5. Hit enter, and this is how much that trip from Ontario to Boise is going to cost me to make. And then I'm going to go do that same thing again, only I'm going to go from Boise to Twin Falls. So we're going to go back to the internet, and I'm going to say from Boise to Twin Falls, Idaho. And that's 134 miles. I'm going to take that information, go back to here, and go and that in there. 134. Enter. It's going to add that up for me. The rest of these numbers can be found online by simply searching for restaurants in those areas. So I looked for a restaurant in Boise. I looked for a restaurant in Twin Falls, the IHOP. And I looked for a restaurant in Las Vegas, Bertha Miranda's. And I looked for food items on there, and then I multiplied that food item times 3 to give me that value. I'm looking for my budget. And then I looked for lodging in Boise, $89 at the Spring Hill Suite, Best Western $86, and in Las Vegas, Best Western $82. Okay, in today's video, we learned how to add non-concurrent cells. We generated a total in a cell using a formula just in that cell. We kept a running total, which is one other thing we learned how to do. And we used the internet to gather information from Google Maps, such as distances between cities. We found fuel prices online. We also found lodging. We didn't actually get into lodging, but you got the concept. And we learned how to create charts. I hope that this video was helpful for you in completing your homework, and I look forward to grading your assignments. Thank you.